Um, Hello, everyone. Uh, this is gonna be a movie. I'm gonna tell you what movie it is soon. But first off, I just want to say thank you so much for the support. I've actually been getting a lot. Uh, it's really nice to know that people like what I make. So, and also thank you for 1K subs. It's It's very cool. I didn't actually think it will work, but still. So, thank you again. Uh, don't worry, I'll be continuing the Hatake and the Snake Sanin What If. I know many people want the Hatake What If to come back for part 4. It will, but right now, in the Discord server, which you should join, I really suggest it, we were talking over a few ideas, and we landed on one of my ideas called What If Naruto was raised by Madara? So, I decided to try something new. This is gonna be a movie. I don't know how many hours, a few hours, and this story will be pretty interesting. It will be a full story, and I hope you like it. Enjoy. So, what if Naruto was raised by Madara? Movie, basically. So, in this Naruto universe, Izuna is Madara's brother. His death was orchestrated by Zetsu, Black Zetsu. Basically, he wanted Madara to think that his clan and the village abandoned him, and that this world can only be saved by the infinite Tsukuyomi, which he also put on the stone tablet. So now it's even more Black Zetsu's fault, which I think it was the same in canon, but again. And so, all the same things happened between Madara and Hashirama. They fought, Madara supposedly died, he took his cells and stuff. And this time, Madara, I don't know if in canon he was acting on free will or not, but here Zetsu managed to place a extremely powerful Genjutsu on Madara, basically. Basically giving him the idea of the infinite Tsukuyomi, basically Kotomatsukami, basically, which it can be dispelled. But that'll be coming later. So, Madara makes the same plans, gives the whole thing to, gives the Renegon to Nagato, everything the same, right up until the moment where Obito was found by Madara. Now, Madara wanted to make Obito his puppet, basically his successor, the one who will carry out his plan when he dies. And so he put these ideas into Obito's head, but Obito wouldn't be taking it. Now, here, Rin did die, but somehow Obito figured out what was going on, and so he didn't blame Kakashi. Obito is a much stronger willed person in this one. He understood that literally he arrived earlier and that he saw that Kakashi was about to stab an Anbu, but Rin jumped in front. He didn't understand why, but he heard her saying that something about the Three Tails Jinchuriki and that she didn't want to become him. And so he understood that it wasn't Kakashi's fault, and he saw that Kakashi's Mangekyo awoke, and his Mangekyo awoke. Same thing as in canon, Obito killed everyone, but instead of saying that this world can only be saved by the infinite Tsukuyomi, he decided that he will live on for Rin, and that when he dies, he'll meet her. But for now, he will live just like Rin wanted him to, right? So he'll make Rin happy, even in the afterlife. So, Obito comes back to the base with Madara, and Madara asks him, "So, Obito, do you now understand that true peace can only be achieved by the infinite Tsukuyomi?" And at this point, Obito already suspects that something is wrong with Madara. And so Obito shows Madara his Mangekyo, but what Madara didn't know is that Obito has awoken his first Mangekyo ability. It's not the same as in canon, I'm just giving him an ability for canon's sake. And so this ability can, I don't know what to call it, but it can dispel any and all Genjutsu, no matter how strong. But the stronger the Genjutsu, the more it'll take out of the person. Basically, if it's extremely strong, the person might pass out for, I don't know how much, for a few months, basically. And so Obito goes into Madara's mind, breaks the Genjutsu, basically killing the Black Zetsu, controlling Madara from within. It's not the main Black Zetsu, it's a little part of him. And so, when he dispelled it, he passed out, but Madara literally basically woke up. He's like, what? I can control myself, finally. But Obito, how did he do that? Probably with his new Mangekyo ability. Amazing. Phew, now I no longer follow the orders of that black thingy. Of that black Zetsu thingy. And so he took Obito to a bed, let him rest for a few months, and Obito woke up. And Madara was sitting by Obito all the way. And so when Obito woke up, Madara basically greeted him, and then he went on his knees and thanked Obito for dispelling that Genjutsu. Obito didn't expect to be thanked by the god of shinobi himself, so he's like, it's fine. And so Obito asks Madara to train him in his Mangekyo and overall abilities for him to become strong, just like Rin wanted. And yeah. And then Madara told Obito that Rin's death was orchestrated by the Black Zetsu thingy in his head. He was the one who manipulated the Mizukage to make Rin the Three-Tails Jinchuriki, and to make the Anbu steal her away. Those were actually White Zetsu clones. And Obito was a bit broken after this, knowing that it was Black Zetsu's fault. He didn't blame Madara. Of course, he was a bit angry at first, but he understood that it wasn't Madara's fault, not at all. And so he said that I need to get stronger, and in time, I will basically kill this Black Zetsu you're talking about. We'll rid this world of him. And Madara agrees. And so, time skip to Ninetales attack. During this time, Obito has been training with Madara and all, but he hasn't been in the Leaf Village, only visiting time to time, seeing how Kakashi's doing. And here, Kakashi took Rin's death much, much worse. He is depressed, much more depressed than he was in canon. He is basically emotionless, literally nothing. And so Obito feels sad for his friend, but he knows he can't really do anything right now, but in time. And so we skip to the Ninetales attack, and here, Minato Uchiha, a full-blooded Uchiha, brother to Fugaku Uchiha, no, not brother, that'll not make sense. He's just an even purer Uchiha. He's 101% Uchiha, when Fugaku is like 100. Think of that. They're not siblings, he's just more Uchiha. And Kushina, also Uchiha, but she's half Uzumaki, half Uchiha. She still has her red hair. And she does have a Sharingan, but not the Mangekyo, right? And so, whole thing happens as canon, but here, the masked man is actually Pain, Nagato. And, Yahiko already died, so whole thing happened. And, same thing, same old. Yes, and the masked man takes Naruto, and there's actually a second sibling. It's actually, what should I call her? Naruto and Naruko, basically, yeah, Naruko. Naruto has black hair, and Naruko has, red hair. Yeah, she has red and black hair, basically. Yeah, that happened. And so, the masked man, which is Nagato, he was also masked, but you could see his Rinnegan, and he took Naruto and the whole thing, and basically they had to still seal Nine Tails in Naruto, but this time Hiruzen came in, did the Reaper Death Seal, and sealed all of Nine Tails into Naruto. And but at this point in time, the Masked Man has already disappeared, using some sort of other Rinnegan ability nobody knows about. Just let's say he just disappeared. Almighty pushed himself out of there. So he doesn't know who the Jinchuriki is. That's gonna play a huge role in the future. I'm just saying. And so Naruto becomes the Jinchuriki, and Minato and Kushina want their son to stay. They love their son no matter if he's a Jinchuriki, and they believe that if he is to become a weapon, he should be attached to this village, be one to protect it. But nothing goes as planned, as they say. And so at the village council, the elders, Danzo, and a few other clan heads vote that Naruto be placed in an orphanage. And of course the deal was not to leak that he was a Jinchuriki, but everybody knows that Danzo is a bitch. And so we skip to when Naruto is 4. We skip to 4 years later. We see a boy with black hair right up to his shoulders, black spiky hair that's everywhere. He has sky blue eyes, no whiskers. He's wearing battered up clothes, ripped pants, little shoes, and we see him getting beat up. We see him walking down the street in an alley, but then a pair of drunk Chunin grab him by the shoulders and say, "Oh, it's the demon brat. Time to beat him up. Maybe we should kill him." No, the Hokage wouldn't. The Hokage would kill us if we did. For some reason, he cares about this brat. Well, no matter. We'll just beat him up half dead. And so, the first one pulled out a kunai and immediately stabbed it into Naruto's shoulder. The other one started punching Naruto in the face, in the stomach, did a knee chop, and then kicked him in the face, sending him into a wall. Naruto is thinking, no. Okay, something I forgot to mention. Naruto's name is not Naruto. It's Kagami Uchiha. Sorry. I just wanted to change his name because it wouldn't fit really the story. So it's Kagami Uchiha. Uchiha. Yeah. Forgot to write it on the script, but Kagami is thinking, why? Why are they doing this? What did I ever do to them? I thought that this village was worth protecting and I should become Hokage someday, but this village, its people, they're not what they make seem of, so they're not what they really look like. Probably gonna die here, but I mean, it's not like I was useful at all. It's not like I was useful anyways. And so Naruto passed out. Naruto woke up in a sewer, and for some reason, he felt scared and at the same time relieved that he was here. He didn't understand what was happening, and so he started walking down the corridor, and he was walking around, not knowing where, right up until the point where he arrived at a giant room with a giant golden cage in the middle, with the kanji for seal in the middle. And Naruto feels an immense amount of anger, rage, hatred, but at the same time, it's a weird feeling. It makes him all fuzzy inside, makes him feel happy. And so, he comes closer to the cage, and then he sees something that shocks him. He sees a giant red slit-like eye open up and look straight at him. And then he sees something come closer, and then he basically sees a giant orange nine-tailed fox in the cage, basically hissing at him. What, like, doing the rrr noise, basically. The lion noise. What Kurama makes the noises. Angry noises, right? And so Naruto isn't scared, but he's a bit taken aback by this. And Kurama sees this, and he's like, huh, the child isn't afraid of me. But he's an Uchiha. He probably knows that he can just control me using his Sharingan. Why am I again sealed in an Uchiha? I mean, he's not full Uzumaki, so it won't be that difficult to take control of his mind. I just need to break this seal. And then, Naruto asks something. Yeah, Naruto asks something that Kurama wasn't expecting at all. Just wasn't. Naruto asks, hello, who are you? I'm Naruto, I'm Kagami Uchiha. Yeah. And so, Kurama stands there shocked. He's like, what? Did an Uchiha just ask me who I was and told me his name? Huh. Okay, strange. And Kurama said, kid, why are you here? Is it to take my power? Is it to control me? Kagami said, no, Mr. Fox, no, I'm not here to do anything of that sort. I was getting beaten up by a few drunk ninja, and, well, I passed out and I woke up here. So I don't know where I am. Do you know? And also, would you mind telling me your name? Because calling you Mr. Fox is a bit uncomfortable. Kurama doesn't know what's going on. Like, what the fuck? So Kurama is like, well, what if the child of prophecy is actually him? But yes, I actually sense Ashura's chakra, but there's also something else. It's very like my father's, but a bit different. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I think I should tell him. I don't sense any, basically, I don't sense any negative emotions from him. Okay. Well, Kagami Uchiha, my name is Kurama, the prettiest and smartest tailed beast of them all, the nine-tailed demon fox. Kagami starts laughing a bit. It's like, you're no demon fox, you're a nice fluffy carpet. And Kurama, what? Did you just call me a carpet? A fluffy orange carpet, you say? Well, you bald monkey. Get out of here for now. By the way, this is your mindscape. Now, to get out of here, just think about getting out of a door. And to come back in here, think about entering a door. It's as simple as that. Currently, I'm healing your body, and a strange man has found you. I sense no negativity from him, but be careful. There might be something wrong with him. Meanwhile, a few minutes back, when Naruto just passed out, a man with a strange orange lollipop-looking mask was walking through the Leaf Village, looking around. People were staring at him kind of weird, because you don't see a lollipop man every day. And so, Obito, the masked man, heard punching and kicking noises in the alley. And so he looked, and what he saw was, it angered him. It filled him with rage. And so, Obito killed those two without a second thought. He rushed towards them, basically pulling out two kunais, slicing their heads, slicing their necks. They fell down dead, and Obito saw a little child, a boy about 4 years old, with black hair, messy, and he felt something interesting. He's like, okay, well, I've been hearing this name, the demon of the Leaf Village. They say that he's an Uchiha, and these two dumbasses were calling him the demon, so he might be an Uchiha. Well, no matter. He's not being treated nicely here, so I don't think Madara-sensei will mind an addition to our little family. And so, Obito takes Naruto and they Kamui away. Anbu, meanwhile, who weren't watching Naruto but now decided to, because they saw two dead Chunin lie, basically saw that the demon disappeared. And so they rushed to the 4th Hokage's office saying that, Lord Hokage, the demon disappeared. We can't find him. And Minato is like, how? You were supposed to be watching him. How could you let him disappear? Were you even watching? The Anbu started stuttering and looking down on the floor. And Minato called Inoichi. Inoichi came and he looked through their memories, saying to Minato that they weren't watching. They were actually the ones orchestrating all the attacks on the Jinchuriki. And Minato, without a second thought, pulled out his kunai and just chopped their heads off. Inoichi was a bit shocked from Minato's brutality, because Minato was known for being very kind-hearted, but he understood that abusing the village's weapon isn't good, and so he left. We cut back to Naruto. Naruto is waking up, and he sees that Naruto woke up and he's on a bed in a pretty dark room made out of stone, and he thinks that, where am I? What happened? Kurama told me that some man was carrying me. Huh. Interesting. Well, okay. I see. What should I do now? Kagami stood up and started walking. He walked around the place until he heard noises in a room. He looked over the wall, he looked around the corner, and saw two people. A man about 20 years old, and an elderly man with long gray hair, eating at a table, talking about something. And then the 20-year-old boy, the 20-year-old man, noticed Kagami, and is like, "Oh, you woke up. Come sit with us. Tell us a bit about yourselves. First, let us introduce ourselves. I am Obito Uchiha, and this grandpa right here is Madara Uchiha." Kagami stood there for a second, not understanding, and he said, "What? Kagami Uchiha? What? Madara Uchiha? But he's dead. He's dead. The god of Shinobi is dead for a few decades now. He was killed by Hashirama Senju. And Obito Uchiha, I heard that kind man and with white hair talking about you. He was saying that if only you were here, what would you say?" Huh. So, two men thought to be dead are actually alive and sitting in front of me. Interesting. Well, I am Kagami Uchiha. Apparently I'm the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. And, well, and I wasn't treated very well in my village, so thanks for saving me. I don't know what you want to do with me, but, not coming back to the village. Madara looks at Kagami a bit weirdly, saying that, this kid's a bit too smart for his age, eh? And Madara asks Kagami, "So, young Kagami," sounds like All Might, but young Kagami, tell us a bit about yourselves, your abilities, because you seem very smart for your age." Kagami sits down at the table like he owns the place, confident and all. And he says that, well, again, my name is Kagami Uchiha. I'm currently 4.5. My birthday is on October 10th. I like reading books about shinobi and jutsu. I currently have the Tutomo Sharingan. When he says that, Madara and Obito basically... Madara drops his chopsticks out of his hands and Obito literally falls over on the chair. Because even Madara didn't awake his Sharingan at 4 years old. And so Madara is very sharp. He's like, what? The Tutomo already? At 4? What did that village do to you to make you awake at such a young age? Kagami said, they beat me every day. I couldn't even go outside normally. Abuse. I hate that village. I can't. I'd rather go rogue than to come back there. And Madara sees how much Naruto hates that place, and he says, "So, if you get stronger, what will you do to the village?" Kagami says, "Well, destroying it wouldn't be too good, I think, because even if all the people there are rotten, they still deserve to live. Even though I don't think so, others do. I'll be hunted down and killed if I destroy that place. So I'll let it live. But if I do get stronger and they get in my way, I won't hesitate to kill them. I won't hesitate to kill any Leaf Shinobi. I show no mercy, just like they didn't show me any." And Madara is pleased with that answer. At first he thought that because Kagami hated that village so much, he thought that if he trained him and made him stronger, that he would just destroy the place that Hashirama spent so much time to build. But when Kagami said what he wanted to do, Madara was very pleased. And so he said, "So, Kagami, how would you feel if me and Obito train you for the next years of your life? You will become strong, very strong, and then nobody will be able to hurt you ever again. How about it?" There is also an organization that needs to be destroyed, or else this world will perish. I will make you and Obito stronger, so that you and him can stop that organization. Kagami thinks about this, and he says that, well, it wouldn't be too bad. I mean, this is Madara Uchiha, literally the ghost of the Uchiha, is the god of Uchiha and Shinobi. So I'd rather train with him, and that Obito man looks very strong. And so Kagami thinks about it, and he says out loud, "Fine, I agree. Let's do this." And so, well, next day, Naruto, Kagami... I need to remember to say Kagami, because I really want his name to be Kagami, not Naruto. Naruto doesn't suit him at all. So Kagami wakes up next morning, black, long, messy hair, remember that. And so he thinks that, well, from what I remember, Madara's haircut was pretty cool, but it's a bit too long for me. I think I'll stick with a bit longer hair. I'll see in time. And so Kagami comes to the kitchen where Madara and Obito are eating, and Madara wants to test something out. He wants to see how much chakra Naruto has. And when he tries sensing Naruto's chakra, he is shocked. He drops his fork again, and Obito and Kagami look at him pretty weirdly, like, "What's up, Gramps?" And Madara sheds a little tear, and Obito is like, "Oh, what? Madara Sensei is showing tears?" And Obito then made like the guy crying face and started hugging Madara. But Madara was looking at Kagami the whole time, and when it all settled down, he asked, "Kid, do you know who your parents are?" And Kagami said, "No, probably abandoned me like everyone else." Or maybe they were forced to abandon me. Or maybe they died. Don't care. I've been living my whole life by myself, so I don't really need them. The Uchiha clan didn't help me out, so I don't need them either. But, well, do you know who they are? Madara says no. I don't know who they are, but I know who your great-grandfather was. And Kagami's like, oh, and is he someone important? And literally, Madara says, your great-grandfather, from the chakra I can sense, is my little brother, Izuna Uchiha. I never thought he'd go that far with that woman. Well, it's great. So, we're actually siblings. Huh. That's cool. And so, Kagami, when he hears that his great-grandfather was an extremely strong shinobi and the brother of the ghost of the Uchiha, he was very happy. He felt warm and fuzzy inside again, knowing that he had some nice ancestors, knowing that they were good people. And so, Kagami took those thoughts out of his mind, still smiling, and said, well, Gramps and Big Bro Obito, can we start training? And Obito and Madara said, of course we can. They went outside, and the first thing Madara asked, kid, have you awoken your chakra reserves yet? Kagami says, yes, I have, and I actually know how to walk on trees, but I didn't have time to learn how to walk on water. Actually, that day I got beat up and brought here. I was about to go start training on how to walk on water for the first time. And Madara is again shocked, a 4-year-old kid literally walking on trees. And he's like, okay, so we'll start with chakra control. First thing, your first task, is going to be physical exercises and water walking, tree walking exercises, and meditating. We will do that for about a year. Always. And then, after we start chakra training, you'll still do that every morning and before sleep. That clear? Kagami says, yes, Madara-sensei, Obito-sensei. And so, Madara says, very good, very good. Now, I want you to do 20 laps around the pond, 10 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, 10 minutes plank, no, 5 minutes plank, all the extra. Kagami is a bit shocked that he has to do this much, but he doesn't complain because his goal is to get strong, help Madara-sensei and Obito accomplish their goals of destroying Akatsuki. He doesn't know the name yet, but the group. And he also wants to learn who his parents were and why they abandoned him if they're still alive. And yeah, he also wants to go see the world, but that's the little goal he put aside for now. And yeah, so for the next half a year, Madara and Obito have been training Naruto in his basically physical form to become strong. His chakra control is near perfection, but now he has to start doing jutsus, so it'll be much harder. Now, Madara, after the half a year finished, he gave Naruto five chakra papers, and he said, well, these are to test your elements, your chakra natures. The Uchiha clan is known for their Firestyle. With Firestyle, the Wind style goes well, and also Lightning style is also a somewhat common thing along Uchihas. Water style is good with lightning, it's also weak against lightning, you could combine them. And it's also, lightning is stronger than earth, and earth is stronger than water. Yeah. And earth is stronger than fire, fire is stronger than wind, and wind is stronger than lightning. You get it. And so, Naruto put the chakra papers in between his fingers, and one burned to ashes, the other one cut straight across, and the other one basically folded. And Madara is like, very interesting. 4 years old, you have 3 chakra natures. Fire style, as expected. Wind style, very good. And lightning style, very, very good. All of these chakra natures are ones me and Obito can train you in. Also your Sharingan. As now you have started working on Jutsu, now that you will start working on Jutsu, you might soon unlock your 3 Tomoe, and after that you'll be practically unstoppable. Not many Uchihas can accomplish a full awakened Sharingan. But there is also something ahead lying for you, but I will not tell you about that yet. And so, the first thing they start doing, Naruto's task, is to start by working with his elements, developing them all at the same time. Because Madara's opinion is that if you have many chakra natures, all of them should be at the same level so that you'll be practically unstoppable. And so his task is to burn one chakra paper, cut the other one, and basically fold the other one in his hand simultaneously. And so Naruto Kagami keeps doing that for about 5 hours, and when he actually completes that, he goes tells Madara Sensei, and Madara is again shocked by Naruto's ability to catch everything this fast. He admitted that it took even him a few months to accomplish that. And so he said that Kagami is an ultimate genius. Madara thought, what will Kagami be able to accomplish later? I wonder. So the first jutsu Madara teaches to Kagami is of course Firestyle Fireball Jutsu. Naruto learns that all in all in about a day and a half. Yeah. During this time, Kagami's hair has grown to a bit, basically the size that you see in the picture. Yeah, this is gonna be how he looks basically later, but the same hairstyle, same eyes. Yeah, literally looks like Izuna, but a bit different. Yes. For the next how many years? Yes, I shall do a time skip. Time skip to when Kagami is 12. Yes, 12. At the Leaf Village, Minato, Kushina have mourned, very sad that their son, who they had to abandon, disappeared. They think that he's dead. The Uchiha clan feels extremely bad for not helping the kid out, because they didn't know that he was an Uchiha, and so, but for some reason they didn't do anything. And yeah, I'll say that Danzo had something to do with that. And meanwhile, with Naruto during these years, he has learned a lot of things actually. He has perfected Fire Style, perfected Wind Style, perfected Lightning Style. These are his 3 elements. They're on the same level. Amazing. Naruto's fire jutsus can basically Madara's whole arsenal. Wind Style. He has Wind Style, Gale Palm, Wind Style, Wind Slashes, Wind Style, Wind Scythe, Wind Style, Wind Tornado, a lot of other Wind Style jutsus. Lightning Style Chidori. He asked Obito, a funny story about Chidori, he asked Obito one day to go into a Leaf Village and take some jutsus for him. And Obito did want to take the Rasengan. He took the Rasengan, he took the Flying Thunder God, and he also took Kakashi's technique called the Chidori. And so, Naruto, he brought these to Kagami, and Kagami looked at the 3 jutsus that he was brought, and he said, well, this Flying Thunder God and Rasengan, I don't know, I don't really like them. I mean, this Rasengan, no. Flying Thunder God, maybe. but not right now. I really like this Chidori move. Sounds very nice, and it could fit me. And so, now Naruto knows Chidori, Lightning Hound, Lightning Blade, Lightning Kirin also, he learned Kirin. A lot of other lightning style jutsus. Also, something that Naruto has found, the Kagami, god damn it, the name, that Kagami has found a great interest in is Kenjutsu. Now, Naruto's Kenjutsu style, after these years, is his own. It's a very fast, sharp style, and when he fights, he leans a lot. He tilts his body in all different kinds of ways, and his sword allows him to do that perfectly. Naruto's Kagami's sword, Kagami's sword looks like Sasuke's sword, but instead of black handle, it's this sort of reddish maroon color. I think maroon. Yeah, it's called maroon. This is Kagami's outfit. Basically, he looks like that. If I didn't say that already, but he does look like that. So, this is his sword. It allows him to do very sharp, fast leading slashes. Yeah, Kenjutsu style. You can see that. He is proficient in Kenjutsu, Ninjutsu. Using his 3-to-mo Sharingan, which he has unlocked now, he is very good at Genjutsu. It's not his primary use, but he is very good at Genjutsu. A bit below Itachi level at this point. But he doesn't really use Genjutsu, but he is very good at it. He is very good at Bukijutsu, throwing metal. Yes, Itachi level, even above him. Trained by Madara and Obito, yeah, he's amazing. Now, if you didn't know, Naruto is 25% Uzumaki, so he has much more chakra than a regular Uchiha. Yes. And so, we cut to Naruto and Obito sitting on their knees next to a bed, and an old man with long gray hair laying on it, and looking at the two men in front of him, looking at the two people in front of him, and smiling. It's a true smile. And we hear this man saying, "My dear students, thank you for all this great time we've had together. Obito, I am glad I found you. You freed me from that illusion. Thank you. You became like a son to me. A son and a dear student. Kagami, I'm so glad we found you. You are my most prized student, the best one I've ever had. And believe me, I haven't had a lot. Now, I'm about to die, and so again, I want to thank all both of you for this great time you've given me, even though my life has been full of sins I have committed. I shall meet Hashirama in the next world, and apologize to him for my weakness. I shall also meet Izuna, and don't worry, I'll tell him that he has a wonderful great-grandson, Kagami. Don't worry. Also, Obito, when I die, I want you to give my eyes to Naruto, to Kagami. I think it will be the best decision. Yes. You can find some random Uchihas. I have a lot of them. I suggest random Uchiha name Sharingan. He has pretty good abilities, but I want my eyes to go to Naruto, to Kagami. Goodbye, my students. It's time I move on. And the man, the great legendary god of shinobi, Madara, has finally died. He has passed away, left to the other world, and at this point, Obito is just crying, remembering all the good memories, but Kagami starts literally crying, screaming, basically becoming a little child, and then he feels burning in his eyes. He feels immense burning, and yeah, that's when he awoke the Mangekyo Sharingan. His Mangekyo Sharingan is the one you see in the picture, the top one, or the MS. And after the whole mourning thing, the grieving, they burnt Madara's body away to ashes with 2 Firestyle Majestic Destroyer flames, so that he couldn't be resurrected. Little did they know something. No, little did they know somebody already had Madara's cells, but that'll come in later. Yes, coming much later. And so now, Obito and Naruto are alone at the base. Naruto is still sad, even after 3 days after the burning ceremony. Obito is a bit depressed too, but Obito says, Kagami, we need to train your eyes. Let's find out your abilities. You can use them a bit, and then I shall give you Master's eyes, and then you will be unstoppable. I have already transplanted that Uchiha's eyes to my own. I have the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and now I won't go blind. But you shall have Master's eyes. They are 100, if not 1,000 times stronger than a regular Uchiha's. Now, let's go. They went on to train their eyes, and they found that Kagami's abilities are very interesting, similar to Obito's actually. Kagami has Amaterasu, and he also has Kamui. Yeah. Obito says that, wow, Kagami, you have Kamui, the same ability as me. It's a very good ability. You can transport yourself, anything you see, anyone you can touch, anyone you see basically. And it can also be used in a very smart way that you can become unintangible. But it's a hard ability to learn. But with your eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, it won't be much of a bother. The Amaterasu, legendary black flames, stronger and hotter than the normal fire style, about 1,000 times. Very strong, burn anything and you can't put it out. And so, also, Kagami awoke his Susanoo. Now, his Susanoo looks exactly like Madara's at full form, but they haven't awoken the full form. Basically looks exactly like Madara's, but it's dark red, like the color of Kagami's sword, basically. The handle, that's the color of the Susanoo. And the weapon he wields, that Susanoo wields, is in one hand that sword, but in bigger version, and also some Kamui shuriken. Yeah. Like the ones Kakashi used. And so, they worked on these abilities a bit, and Kagami started noticing that he's losing a bit of eyesight. That's when he told that to Obito, and Obito said that, yes, it's time we give you Master's eyes. They went into a room, the transplant happened, Obito did the thing, and yeah, now Naruto has that design. And now, they went to test his eyes out a few days later, and Kagami found out that he can now summon the full Susanoo, but it's a bit hard for him, but he can do it. It looks cool. He also still has Amaterasu and Kamui, very much stronger than they were before. He can control the flames much better now, but he also has another ability, the Tsukuyomi. Obito told Kagami that this is a very powerful genjutsu. It's a genjutsu where you control anything. You can do anything to the victim. Kill them over and over again. Make them watch their family die. Make them watch themselves die. Make them feel immense pain. Yes. And Kagami said that, this can be used for interrogation. I see. Well, very, very good. I like this ability. And so, now, Kagami and Obito say that, well, sure, we sit here all day, but, yeah, we gotta earn money somehow, because it's boring. This place is boring. And so, they decided to go their separate ways. Obito wants to travel around the shinobi world first, just fooling around like he always does. But Kagami has different plans. He wants to become an assassin for hire, and at the same time travel the world killing a bunch of bad people. And so, he goes immediately to the land of water. Yes, to the land of water. And, Kagami is walking through the borders of the land of fire into the land of water because Madara's base was near the edge of the land of fire. And so, when Kagami crosses the water border, a pair of mist Anbu appear and pull out their weapons and get in a fighting stance. One of the Anbus then asked, "Stop right there. What are you doing in the land of water right now?" Kagami is a bit... he doesn't know what's going on, basically. So much security, it's pretty weird, isn't it? And so Kagami says, I just wanted to go to the land of to the Mist Village and get a few missions from the Mizukage as an assassin for hire. One of the Anbu asked, "State your name. We've never seen you, and you're not in the bingo book, so you're not a rogue nin. How can we trust you have a good skill level, and you won't harm anyone in the village?" Kagami then said, "Well, you're just gonna have to trust me. Believe me, I won't attack." Now, I'm not gonna go into how Kagami convinced them. He just convinced them with Genjutsu. Yeah, he Genjutsu'd them. Kagami placed a Genjutsu on them, basically convincing them that they should let him in. And so the Anbu, along with Kagami, went to the Mizukage's office. When they were walking through the Mist Village, everybody was looking at Kagami pretty weirdly, like nobody's ever seen him around, so it's a new face, so it's kind of weird. And plus, Mist Anbu never let someone in without Mizukage's permission. And so as soon as they arrive at the Mizukage's office, they knock in, and Kagami hears a female voice, and she says, "Enter." They enter, and what Kagami sees in front of him is a bit weird, but he's okay with it. He sees a woman with somewhat brown orange hair, with her hair covering one of her eyes, blue dress, sitting at a table with a bunch of papers beside her. And Mizukage looks at Kagami, and she's like, "So, why did you bring him here? I didn't give permission for anyone to enter the land of water." Kagami then knocked all the Anbu out, and Mizukage got in a fighting stance, and then Ao, the guy with the Byakugan, but Kagami doesn't know that, Ao appeared out of nowhere and came into a fighting stance beside the Mizukage. Kagami then put his hands up in like a peace sign and said, "I'm not here to fight Mizukage. I'm just here to receive a few missions as a assassin for hire. I'm not a missing nin, nor am I any shinobi belonging to any village, so I couldn't get those Anbu to trust me. My name is Kagami Uchiha." And when the Mizukage hears that name, she's immediately on guard. He's like, an Uchiha. Where have I heard that name before? Can't put my hand around it, but you're an Uchiha. So that means you have a Sharingan. You know that we can just kill you and take your Sharingan, right? Kagami then says, "I don't think so. I put a seal on my Sharingan. If it goes out of my body, it won't work on anyone else, so it's pretty much useless." and Kagami just pulled a chair and just sat on it, like with using that face expression similar to Madara's. And so he's just waiting, and Mizukage thinks about it, and she's like, well, okay, I can sense that you're quite strong, and I do think that Ao can confirm it. Your chakra is very ominous. Interesting. Do you by any chance have a tailed beast inside of you? Kagami is a bit on guard, but he keeps his cool, hiding every single emotion, saying, no, I do not. People have said that I do look like a person with a biju, but no, I don't. And so Mizukage decides to give him an S-rank mission from the beginning, so that if he succeeds, he'll just get the reward, and the Mist Village will get a few bad guys out of their hands. And if he does die, then she'll just stop a future threat to the village. So it's going to be a win-win for both sides. And the mission's objective is to travel to the land of Earth and kill a certain elder of the daimyo's palace, because that elder has been pretty aggressive towards the Land of Fire's daimyo and Kage, and she wants to get rid of him. She told Kagami that unlike other elders, this one is actually a ninja himself, pretty strong, about I'd say Jonin to mid Jonin level. So he's pretty dangerous. We don't have any data on him on what abilities he uses, but we do know that he has Firestyle, and pretty good too. Interesting for an Earth Shinobi, said Kagami. But okay, I'll see what I can do. And yeah. And so Kagami went out the Mist Village and started heading towards the land of Earth. Yes. So, but in order to do that, he has to go through the hidden hot water village. He stops there on the way, goes into the hot springs, because why not? When he does get in there, it's a mixed bath. Kagami isn't shy, and everybody starts looking at him. Kagami isn't ripped, but he's leaned out very well. It might not look like it in the picture, but yeah, Kagami's ripped. Not bulky, but very, very cut. So it almost looks like he has no muscle, but he's actually very fit. He tied his hair in a long back ponytail, actually a back bun. And he just went in there, relaxed, and a bunch of girls started hitting on him. But Kagami, he's too cool for that, he don't care. So he just shrugged them off, and all the girls started liking him even more because he's like this cold, mysterious guy. And so Kagami got annoyed and just ordered a VIP bath because he just wanted to relax. And yeah, after he went out the hidden hot water village, he had to pass the hidden sound. He did that without much trouble, taking out a few bandits there and then. They weren't sound shinobi, but he just passed. He then went through a bit of the Land of Iron, didn't see much trouble there, except a few Ronin. And hidden waterfall village, nothing there. Although he does feel the Seven Tails Jinchuriki. And when he does feel that, when he passes through the village itself, he goes out to help her. He knows that he's a Jinchuriki, and he does not want any other Jinchuriki to basically get hurt. Now, I don't really remember, because this is another recording. I don't remember if Kagami is already friends with Kurama, but I'll say that Kagami has met Kurama, and they're on a not best friend basis, but yeah, they're they're buddies, they're pals, you know. And so, yeah. Yeah. So when he arrives there, he sees how Fu is getting beat up by a few drunk hidden waterfall Chunin. And so he goes there, knocks all of them out, and sees that Fu is knocked out on the ground. He takes her, goes to a random house that isn't taken. He goes to the hospital, and he wants to enter, but they don't allow him, saying that the demon can't come in. And who are you to help the demon? There's a law that says nobody can help her. And Kagami looked at them with his Sharingan, put them in a Genjutsu, and just made them do it. And so he left Fu on the bed, basically leaving a note saying, I saved you, hope you're well, don't go outside unless you really need to. That's the law of a Jinchuriki. And he just left. And now he is in the land of Earth. And so he goes into a city. Okay, I'm just gonna call it Omashu, because it's from Avatar, but that's basically where the daimyo lives and his elders. The elders have their own mansions, and like besides the daimyos, and the daimyo has a mansion in the center. And currently, the elder that he's looking for is in his mansion in the side of the city. And so Kagami is walking through the Omashu city, and everybody's looking at him kind of with interested looks. They've never seen him here before, and so, yeah. So Kagami, without much trouble, just passes through all of the guards that were there. They weren't stronger than low tuning. Most of them were Genin level, but they were like, it wasn't hard to kill them. But they weren't like Genin age. They were older, much older, around Jonin age, but they were still very weak. Kagami just chopped their heads off with his sword. Nobody even noticed. And so now it's just him, a few other guards around the elder, and the elder himself sitting in his office. And Kagami looks at what the elder is writing on his notebook, and using his Sharingan, he sees that the elder is trying to file a complaint, basically trying to make a reason to launch a war against the Land of Water, because he doesn't like the Mizukage because she rejected him when they met. And so Kagami, even though he doesn't know the Mizukage that well, is a bit enraged because this man just wants to spark a new war, possibly even a world war, just because he got rejected by the Mizukage. And so Kagami just swiftly jumps down, chops all of the guards' heads off, and pierces a sword through the elder's shoulder, not killing him because he wants to talk, talk. And so the elder is screaming out in pain, and when he settles down, he asks, what do you want? Just let me go. I can give you money, power, women, whatever you need. I can give it to you. I'm an elder for the Earth Daimyo. Please let me go. But, Kagami doesn't listen. He activates his Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and just Tsukuyomi's the shit out of the elder. Yeah, that elder is dead, basically. He got tortured to death. And so, mission well done. Kagami takes the elder's head, places it in a scroll, and just leaves. He arrives back at the Land of Water after a few days, reporting to the Mizukage, saying that mission's done, everything went well. He also told her that that the elder wanted to spark a new war, just because you rejected him. So I killed him painfully. And the Mizukage is like pleased. So she said, "Well, Kagami Uchiha, thank you. Now, yes, we will call you up sometimes, and give you hard missions, much harder than this one. And before Kagami left the Mizukage's office, the maid called him and said, "From now on, you will be known as the Ghost." Now, I know the Ghost isn't a very original nickname, but it's all I could think of, because he's swift, smooth, nobody sees him to do the kill. Yeah, kind of fits him. And so, for the next months, Kagami has been just going around the 5 great nations, doing just missions for anybody who needs it. And, yeah. Now, he goes over to the land of earth, land of wind, land of water again, and land of lightning, but he goes everywhere except for the land of fire, because he doesn't want to deal with the leaf village right now. And so, yeah. Over these past few months, he's actually met Son Goku and Roshi, the Four Tails Jinchuriki, and they talked. Roshi taught Kagami a bit about Taijutsu. Kagami has met Gaara, and since the shooting exams passed already, and Gaara in this what if, he hasn't been dealt with, so he's still crazy, and he's not the Mizukage, but Kagami freed Gaara from Shukaku's influence and helped him, so now Gaara is fine. Yeah, he's good friends with him. He has met Fu again, they're great friends. He has met B and the Raikage. The Raikage doesn't really like Kagami because, he thinks that he's a threat. But B is very chill with Kagami, and they're pretty good friends. But the Tsuchikage is not very passive, not very optimistic towards Kagami. He doesn't treat him very well because, Kagami did kill an elder of the daimyo's palace, which is a pretty big deal. But when Kagami explained what the elder was wanted to do, Tsuchikage cut him some slack, but he still doesn't like Kagami. The Kazekage and Kagami do not have a good relationship because now Gaara isn't that bloodthirsty weapon of the sand. And so the Kazekage is very angry at Kagami and is now hunting him to kill him. So now if Kagami encounters Sand Shinobi anywhere, that just, yeah, he's gonna have to fight. Now, the word of the name of the Ghost has spread across the 5 great nations, even the land of fire, and the Leaf wants to hire him, but they can't get in touch with him. Every time they try to send someone for him, the Ghost always disappears, sometimes even injuring the other, sometimes even injuring some Leaf Shinobi, but never killing them, which is very suspicious to Minato. And so he's like, the Ghost. I wonder who he is. Damn it. Why did it all have to turn out like this? If only Kagami was here. If only little Kagami was here. We could have been a full family. I mean, Kushina has let it go, and we do have 3 children, but they're all so spoiled. I don't know how we managed to raise such little brats. It seems like I'm the only one who remembers Kagami. I'm the only one who ever goes to his grave. Kushina has completely forgotten. But I think that's for the better. Now she's not depressed and wanting to kill herself. But our children, they should at least know that they had an older brother. If only he was here. What have I done? How could I let the elders take my son? I'm such a bad Hokage. Damn it. And, yes. Now, during these months, Kagami has gotten a bit stronger. Not that much. He's learned a few more lightning techniques he's heard of in the land of lightning, a few wind techniques when he was still passive with the land of wind. Yeah. And Firestyle, yeah, it's almost like he's one with the fire now. So yeah, he doesn't even need hand signs for most of his jutsus. So yeah, and also during this time, Kagami and Obito have been having secret meetings, and they've been discussing what they should do with the Akatsuki, Nagato's group. And Obito has a little plan. Now, Obito has been spying on the Akatsuki using his little own spy network, and he's learned that the Akatsuki are soon to make a move. Yes, and he said that they're gonna do it in about 3 years. And he said that, well, why don't we, in 3 years, figure out a plan to get amongst the ranks, but that'll come in later. For now, I've had a good idea, little bro. How about you go to free summoning and train if you have a good one? And if you don't have a good summoning, I have a few summonings in mind for you. So how about you do that? And yeah. Now, Kagami said that, yeah, I do like that idea. And so, Kagami did the signs for the summoning jutsu, and he summoned himself. Now, when he woke up, he wakes up in a room, dim lights, and a tatami mat on his feet, and he's still wearing his same outfit, but he doesn't have his shoes on, which is very weird. And this place looks like a dojo. So Kagami takes out his sword and looks around and is very confused because he's never heard of a summoning use a dojo. So he starts looking around the dojo and he notices that in one corner there is a figure, a humanoid figure. And so he whips out his sword even more and he gets in a fighting position. And so the figure starts moving. Kagami then asks, "Who are you?" The figure says, "Well, human, I should be asking you the same thing, but I have a feeling I know who you are. But tell me, how did you get here?" Kagami then said, "I used the free summoning jutsu." "Huh," the man said. "Very interesting. You are the first human of the outside world to come here. Well then, I guess you really are the chosen one. Well, I am Chojuro, and I am a limbo, and I am a limbo warrior. And you, my friend, are currently in the limbo world, a land of forgotten warriors of the past, legendary shinobi who have been erased from others' memories. Now, we once received a prophecy that a human will come here, and we shall teach him all that we know. Now, come with me. But first, tell me your name." "I'm Kagami Uchiha." "Very well, Uchiha Kagami. Come with me. I shall introduce you to the rest of the limbo residents, as I call them." And so Kagami went with the strange, shadowy figure, and when they went outside, this world is gray. The sky is gray, and only anything on the ground has shade, but it's not very bright. The man in front of him had long brown hair in a ponytail behind him. He was wearing samurai armor, and he had a similar sword to Kagami behind his back. And so, he was walking with that man, and Kagami wanted to ask, so, Chojuro, Mr. Chojuro, are you by chance a swordsman? Because I can see a sword and a samurai armor. Chojuro then asked, Chojuro then said, yes, I am a swordsman, and from the looks of it, you are a swordsman too. And I see that we use pretty similar swords, and the way you use it is also very interesting. We shall have a spar one after I introduce you to the rest of my fellow comrades here. And they arrived at a room. It looked like a counseling room, and around Kagami saw 8 more shadowy figures. And when they went out the shade, he saw a man with long black hair wearing shinobi outfit, where a man with white hair, another different shinobi armor, a samurai, another samurai with weird armor, a man pretty fat with butcher knives, and a few other men, and a woman also with using shinobi tools. She had sunbon in her mouth, which is pretty weird. And Chojuro sat down and invited Kagami to sit in front of him. And so, Chojuro said to the others, as from what you can see, this is the human that was supposed to come from the prophecy of our dear old sage. Fortunately, that Gramps died a long time ago, but whatever. Now, Kagami Uchiha, in front of you sit the 9 legendary warriors of the past. We have all been forgotten and erased from the memories of the people, but our will and our doings have lived on. For example, me. I was the one who founded the land of iron and the samurai school there, but my own people betrayed me and killed me and erased me from their existence. These are shinobi as well, and some of them are even samurai. All of them have done great deeds, but have been all betrayed by their people. And from the looks of it, you haven't been left untouched as well. I can see that pain you hide behind that emotionless face of yours. So tell us a bit about yourself, so that we know what we have to teach you. And Kagami starts by telling them the story of his life, about how he was treated and abused by his village, about how he was supposed to be their only weapon, but then Obito, his now older brother, found him, took him to Madara, and they trained. And then one of the others said, Madara. Yes, that man was very strong. We even invited him to join the Limbo world, but he decided to rest in peace. A very interesting person. Kagami then opened his eyes wide and said, wait, you know Madara? And the man said, yes. After people die, we invite them to join the Limbo world. Most refuse because they're rather scared, or they just want to rest in peace. And Madara was no exception. I could see his fearless look, but I could see that he was tired of all this. So I let him go without a fight. But I can see that you have gone through much. But tell us a bit about your abilities, so that we know what we're dealing with. Kagami then says that he has three elements, fire, wind, and lightning. Uses all at a pretty professional level. Firestyle is a tad stronger than the others. He has the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan with the abilities of the Amaterasu, Kamui, and the Tsukuyomi, along with the full Susanoo. He possesses great Kenjutsu, as he thinks. Bukijutsu, Ninjutsu, Genjutsu at a very good scale. And he is 25% Uzumaki, so he has much more chakra than a regular Uchiha. And all the figures, all the people there, are sitting and looking at each other, nodding their heads and in agreement, saying, yes, Yes, we can teach you a few things. Now, how about you spar with Chojuro and Mei over here? Mei possesses great Bukijutsu and elemental abilities, and Chojuro is an amazing swordsman, and we can see that he uses pretty similar sword styles along with you. So, go do a little spar in the dojo. Kagami whipped out a sword and stood against Mei and Chojuro. Chojuro then said, "Well, kid, let's see what we can do with you." And so Kagami disappeared in a little poof, in a little, because basically his after image was left, and he appeared behind Chojuro, wanting to do a quick lightning strike, but Chojuro turned around, blocked it, wanted to punch Kagami in the face, but Kagami jumped up and wanted to kick Chojuro, but Mei whipped out her senbon and sent it towards Kagami's leg. Kagami then put his sword to block the senbon, but he took a punch from Chojuro. And Kagami was sent back a bit, and he's like, so it's a 2v1. Pretty unfair, don't you think? Can I use elements? They both nodded. And then Kagami said, well, very well. And he rushed towards them, summoning 2 lightning hounds and sending them at Mei and Chojuro. And so Chojuro quickly dispelled the lightning hound. Mei sent lightning senbon towards the hound, dispelling them, and they both rushed towards Kagami. But Kagami then activated his Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and he basically phased right through them. And they were both pretty taken aback by this. What is that ability? You said your ability was Kamui, not... Oh, so that's how you use Kamui. Interesting. Did somebody teach you that, or did you figure that out by yourself? Kagami said, even though I might be a genius, I'm not that smart. My big brother figured it out because he has the same ability. But it's very interesting, although I'm not that good at it as he is. And so then Kagami whipped out a sword and ran wind chakra through it, and he rushed towards the 2, basically with lightning speed almost. All they could see was an after image of him, and then Kagami appeared beside Mei, wanting to strike her in the chest, basically ending the fight immediately. But little did he know, Mei basically in a flash just did many hand signs and did a firewall in front of him, burning Kagami up a bit, and Chojuro got behind Kagami, who wasn't expecting that, and he basically just punched Kagami in the face, sending him back, basically knocking him out almost. And so Chojuro put a sword to Kagami's neck and said, well, kid, you are very, very skilled, but unfortunately you're not that powerful. Now, you shall stay here for the next 6 years and to train with us. And Kagami said, but I can't stay here for the next 6 years. I need to be back in my world in 3. Chojuro said, don't worry. You will still have... Basically, time runs different here than in the regular world. Here, it's faster. Basically, 6 years in this world is 3 years in that world. So it's fine. You shall train with each of us on different levels, on different abilities you're lacking. With me, you will train in Kenjutsu, along with Kato there. He is also an amazing swordsman who will teach you how to block and parry, and I will teach you how to attack. Mei and Karasuma, who are both extremely powerful shinobi, will teach you Bukijutsu, because it can be used very well. You will also be learning how to throw your sword, which is also very useful abilities. The rest of us will teach you Taijutsu and Elemental Jutsu, and there we have Tristan, whatever, his name is Tristan. He is an extremely powerful Genjutsu user from the Kurama clan, which is extinct now, but back in his time, it was one of the most powerful Genjutsu clans ever. They could even rival the Uchihas, if not beat them at their own specialty. And so, for the next 6 years in that world, Kagami has been training in Kenjutsu, Bukijutsu, Ninjutsu, Genjutsu, Taijutsu. His Sharingan, he's also been developing that. Basically, he's now extremely OP. Just like, oh god, you can't even imagine the power level. And so, it's time for Kagami to say goodbye and to finally close a contract, to sign a contract with the Limbo World. Yes. And so, all the 9 members of the Limbo gather, and Kagami sits in front of them, and Chojuro in the middle says, "We are proud of you, young Kagami. You have gone so far. You have become very powerful. You can beat each one of us with fair ease now. Very, very nice. Now, it is before you go, we need to sign a summoning contract with you. Now, the Limbo World is special. It was created by the Sage of the Six Paths, so that we, in time, can help the Chosen One. And you will need to sign 2 contracts, and you can use 2 of them in your fights. One of them is that you can summon any one of us you want, but in a Limbo form. The Limbo form makes us invisible to censors and everybody else, and we are also invisible as well, but we are 2 times less powerful than our original states. The second contract, you can basically revive us for a certain amount of time, about 10 minutes for your power level, and then we can fight alongside you as your comrades. But we cannot die. But if we don't have any more chakra or stamina left, we will just desummon. Kagami is very impressed with this summoning contracts, and he's like, "That's amazing. Very well. I shall sign it with you and be on my way." Kagami signed the contract, and he left. So Kagami signed the 2 contracts, and he went back home. But before he did, I'm just gonna say all of the Limbo members, because I didn't explain that very clearly in the last part. Yeah. So Chojuro, he's like the main dude, the strongest there. He is a Kenjutsu god. Yeah, he's basically a Kenjutsu god. And all the others are basically the same level of strength, except for the last one. But after Chojuro goes Mei. She's a Bukijutsu master. She can never miss a target by throwing anything. Tadashi, he's a ninjutsu master, has all the 5 chakra natures, is god level in all of them. Akemi, taijutsu god, 10 times stronger than a guy. Kazuko, he was a Nara, and he's a strategist / smart guy. So he taught Kagami strategies, how to be smart in battle. Kaito, extremely proficient in Genjutsu. He caught up Kagami with Genjutsu. Haru has Dark Release, basically Dark Release. And Sora has Light Release. And at the end we have Riku. Now Riku is the sage of the Limbo realm. Now, how Kagami's Limbo Sage Mode works is basically, imagine Hashirama's Sage Mode, basically same looks, but it just boosts all of his stats, literally, but it boosts them by a lot, so it's the most powerful Sage Mode, I'll say. Yeah, it's the most powerful Sage Mode. Nothing too crazy, but, yeah. Yeah, that. And so, Kagami returns back home in a puff. He appears where he left off, and he starts going to the land of wind, because why not, you know? He wants to go to the land of wind. Yeah. So, Kagami arrives into the land of wind, and he's wandering on the borders of the land of wind and the land of earth. And he's pretty much at the hidden... He's somewhere... Yeah, almost where the land of earth and the land of wind meet. And he hears a bit of commotion. He goes to check it out, and he sees that, well, there's two men in red clouds carrying an unconscious boy with red hair. And so Kagami is like, the Akatsuki. So they've made their move. Very well. I'll see what they want to do. Because there might be enemy shinobi here. And they might try to attack me. So I'll wait to see what the others will do. And Kagami listens to their conversation of the two men. One has long blonde hair, and the other one is a slumped man with a tail. And he hears them. So, Sasori, do you finally admit that my art is the best? The man, who was named Sasori, said, no, art is eternal, and yours just lasts one moment. It's easily forgettable. While mine can live on forever, never age, never lose beauty. Eternal beauty is true art. Ha! You're just full of it, Sasori. My art is the best. And that's basically how their whole conversation continued. And the man named Sasori, who Kagami has heard of, Sasori of the Red Sand, and also a man he has recognized from the bingo book, Deidara the Mad Bomber. And he sees them go into a base, and Kagami sneakily sneaks into the base and hides his chakra presence extremely well, and he just sits on one of the rocks on top of the ghetto statue so nobody can see him, and he's just looking at this. He sees Itachi Uchiha. He sees a man he thinks is Itachi Uchiha from the Sharingan, and he sees a man who looks like Hoshigaki Kisame, and the rest he can't really recognize because you can't really see him. But what interested him is that in the hologram he saw one man with a Rinnegan, which confused him a lot. Like, it's a Rinnegan. And so Kagami hears their conversations. They're just talking to each other, and then the man with the Rinnegan says, well, I want to congratulate you, Sasori and Deidara, on successfully completing your first mission on capturing a tailed beast. Very, very good. After this, we shall continue taking the tailed beasts. From what I've gathered, the nine-tailed Jinchuriki might not be in the village, but that is unclear because that information is completely secret. So, in time, we will find the nine tails, but we have to continue getting the others. Very well. Now, Sasori, Deidara, I sense some intruders coming our way, but they're a bit far, so we need to hurry up. We don't want to cause a mess in this base, right? Yes, leader, said the Deidara and Sasori. Let's go to a team of Konoha Shinobi. This team consists of Kakashi Hatake, the copy ninja of Konoha. Also, it consists Sasuke Uchiha, the princess of the Uchiha clan. we see Menma Namikaze, the heir to the Namikaze clan and the son of the 4th Hokage. No, Menma Uchiha, son of Minato Uchiha, the 4th Hokage, also a prince of the Uchiha clan. And Naruto, also a princess of the Uchiha clan. We see 3 possible heirs to the Uchiha clan. But who exactly will inherit it hasn't been decided yet. And we see these members of the team talking how, yeah, they need to go rush quickly, help save Gaara. I mean, yeah, they're already tuning, so they gotta help. This is their first real mission, and they've heard the Akatsuki are dangerous. Menma said, "Ha, come on, there's Akatsuki can't be anything that strong. We will just kill him. I mean, come on, I'm Menma Uchiha, the strongest of the Uchiha." Naruto says, "No, I'm the strongest. You do know that, brother." Sasuke is just in the side listening, just doesn't care. Kakashi is sighing like, these kids are hopeless. And we see 2 people appear in front of them, in front of the team. Kakashi is immediately on guard along with Sasuke, and Menma and Naruto are still arguing, but then they see that Kakashi and Sasuke have stopped, and they're on guard too. What they see next shocks them, especially Sasuke. They see Hoshigaki Kisame, a seven ninja swordsman, wielding the Samehada. Literally looks like a shark. And then they see Itachi Uchiha, an S-class rogue nin, guilty for the crime of killing off half of the Uchiha clan, to be exact, the side branch. Reasons are unknown. Some say it was because of jealousy. Some say it was because he thought he was superior. Some say it was just to test his power. But the true intentions behind the mass murder wasn't known to anyone except a few selected people in the Konoha higher-ups. But that will come in later. Sasuke, when she saw Itachi, immediately pulled out her kunai and said, "Itachi, I will kill you!" Itachi looks at Sasuke and laughs a bit and grins. "Ah, my foolish little sister. Well, it seems that you still haven't learned. Well, I shall teach you a lesson." And these 2 rush towards each other. And Sasuke and Itachi got into a fight. Taijutsu at first. Itachi was clearly winning. Then they both activated their Sharingans. Both had 3 Tomoe. And they were fighting even faster. Then at one moment Sasuke got caught off guard and Itachi placed her in a Tsukuyomi. He didn't really do much, he just knocked her out. He didn't want to hurt his sister, you know? Meanwhile, Hoshigaki Kisame was fighting Menma, Naruto, and Kakashi. Yeah. It was a bit hard for him because of Kakashi, but Menma and Naruto already got knocked out. Already are on their feet, like on their knees, barely breathing. Barely like standing. Kakashi is also worn out. And Itachi said, "I'm fine with her. I'm finished with her. Let's go. Our mission's over." And they dispersed like clones. And Kakashi's just like, "What? Those were just clones and they gave us this much trouble? How powerful are these 2? Very well, I should wake these 3 up." After a few minutes of waking Sasuke, Menma, and Naruto up, they continued. Menma the whole way saying that those guys just won by luck, and that next time he sees them, he's gonna kill them. Naruto was a bit also like, yeah, come on, that was just luck. And Sasuke is depressed because she saw her brother. She still doesn't know why he did all that, but, you know. And Kakashi, he doesn't know why Itachi did it, because he hasn't been told. No, actually, I'll say Kakashi has been told, but it's classified information, so he can't really spread it. Yeah. Yeah. And so, they continue towards the base. And the same thing with the seals happens. They break through the door along with the help of Guy's team. Same thing, same old. And there they see Deidara sitting on Gaara's body, using it like a bench. And Sasori, basically. Chiyo is also with them, I forgot to say. And all the fights happen as canon. Yeah, they happen as canon. But instead of Sakura and Naruto, it's Menma and Naruto. Sasuke is just replacing Sai. You get it? But this time I'll say that Deidara doesn't really fly that far away from the base. He just goes outside to start bombing it. Meanwhile, Sasori is fighting with Chiyo and Naruto. Menma and Sasuke and Kakashi are going to fight Deidara. They're doing pretty well, destroying all of his bombs with lightning and Firestyle. Chiyo and Naruto are a bit struggling because of Sasori's puppets, but they deal with them same as canon. And when they all enter the cave, they hear a voice on the top of the weird statue that is in the cave. They hear, so this is how Konoha Shinobi grew during my time away? Very well. But you're still too weak, Shinobi of the Leaf. Let's see what the future holds for us. Very interesting. Those guys are after the tailed beasts, I see. Interesting fight, though. Kakashi asks, "Who are you? Show yourself." Kagami has put on a mask. Actually, no, he doesn't have a mask on. Yeah, he just has his regular outfit on. But he has a black cloak over it, right? And he's like, "Oh." No, and Kagami is sitting at the top of one of the ghetto fingers, like the Madara's face expression, basically. And he's just looking at them and with that grin, and he's like, "Oh, my name isn't really important, you know. But I am glad to see that you took care of the Akatsuki members. Less trouble for me." And Kakashi's like, "Which village do you hold allegiance to? What is your name?" Kagami says, "So formal." Kakashi of the Sharingan. "I'll say again, my name isn't important. All I can reveal to you is this." He shines his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan red and disappears in the wind. All you can see is a red smudge in the air. But Sasuke managed to see the Sharingan along with Kakashi and the rest of the team. They all saw the Sharingan. And Sasuke's like, "It's an Uchiha." Okay, I'll talk to father about this. Menma and Naruto like, "Yeah, what's that weird design he has?" And Sasuke just face palms. They don't even know what a Mangekyo is. But that Mangekyo would look pretty weird. It might be a higher stage. I don't think there is one. Interesting. And so, same thing as happens. Chiyo sacrifices herself to save Gaara, and Team 7 goes back to Konoha. There, Sasuke and the team, along with Kakashi, go to report to Minato, and when they enter, they see Minato Uchiha and Fugaku Uchiha talking. Yes, They're just talking. They're not related, but they're both equally strong members of the Uchiha clan, with Minato being more famous, basically. He's not good at Genjutsu, but he's good at fighting, opposite with Fugaku. And when they enter, Sasuke is like, hello, Hokage, Lord Hokage, and Lord Fugaku. And Naruto and Menma are just like, yo, dad, what's up? Yo, Fugaku, sir. And Minato gets a little tick mark from this, and he's like, what did I say about calling me father in the Hokage's residence? Here you call me Lord Fourth, or just Hokage. Yeah, whatever, dad, said Menma. And Kakashi's like, Lord Fourth, we've come to report on the mission. We've come to report the mission on Gaara's saving. So, how did it go, Kakashi? Said Minato. It went all pretty well. We have managed to kill Sasori of the Red Sand, and Deidara managed to escape. Did Deidara die there? Okay, I'll say that Deidara also died. They killed him. Yes, we have managed to kill Deidara and Sasori. Very well, very well. Those were two strong rogue nin. But from your faces I can see that something else happened. Yes, Lord Hokage. Yes, Lord Hokage, something weird did happen, said Sasuke. Oh? Tell us what it is, answered Fugaku. Well, a man around our age, a boy around our age basically, was there sitting on the Gero statue, and he said he thanked us for taking care of the Akatsuki for him. And we didn't learn his name, but the only thing that we saw was a Sharingan glowing, and it was a Mangekyo. But it was a very weird one. It didn't look like any other Mangekyo designs. I have a feeling it might be an eternal one. What? An eternal Mangekyo Sharingan out there? Why isn't this man in the village? I don't know, Lord Fugaku, but it was weird. We also saw a clone of Itachi there, said Sasuke. Oh, Itachi. Okay. Well, thank you for reporting. Kakashi, please submit a written report on it later. Yeah. They all left. Yeah. Now we cut back to the Hidden Rain Village. We just see Kagami wandering about, minding his own business, you know. He doesn't really know that something's waiting for him in the rain. And he tries to enter the gates, and there are guards there. And they're like, what are you doing here? State your business. Kagami says, oh, I'm no one in particular, just visiting. Just passing by, you know. They're like, you look suspicious, but okay. Fine, get in. Yes, I know it's too easy, but let's just say he put a Genjutsu on them. Yeah, he put a Genjutsu on them and they just let him in. And in the tallest tower of the Rain Village, a man with a Rinnegan felt a little more chakra than usual from the gates. He's like, oh, probably an intruder. I shall send some of my bodies there to deal with the intruder. Kagami's just walking around, minding his own business, when he notices that there aren't any people around, and he's like, weird. And then he realizes, okay, this might be an attack, but I gotta wait for the attacker. Who might this be? And then he sees three red-haired men, not Uzumaki red, like orange hair. Yeah. 3 men with orange hair. Yes. We see 2 men and a woman, basically. And the man in the middle, who had a bunch of piercings, actually each one of them had a bunch of piercing, said, "Traveler, who are you? State your business here." And Kagami saw something that, again, shocked him. That's the guy with the Renegon. Does he live in the Rain Village? It's very weird. But, okay. I won't give up my identity yet. I'm not really anyone, I'm just passing by, rude truly. The man in the left side said, huh. You're not lying, are you? I'm just passing by. But I don't like you. You seem extremely suspicious and strong. So we shall deal with you here. And the man in the middle goes back, and the man at the left also. And the woman, the only one there, also with the Renegon, does a few hand signs and summons a giant rhinoceros with a Renegon also glowing and a giant piercing in his face. Kagami's like, okay, a giant summoning with a Renegon. Oh, whoa. Too many Renegons. How many of them is there? But okay. Kagami starts starts evading the attacks of the rhinoceros, but then something else hits him from behind. And then, when he looks back, after he got out the wall he made a giant crater in, it's a giant chameleon, also with piercings and a Renegon. He's like, what the heck? How many Renegons are there? Then, the man in the middle, who was before, appeared, and he said, Shinra, no. He said, Universal. Pull. And Kagami started flying towards the man. Kagami's like, what the? Is that an ability of the Renegon? Pushing? Ha. If it's pushing, then it's also probably attracting. If it's attracting, then it's probably pushing also. Okay. I expect him to say something along the lines of push. And then the man says, Almighty push. Kagami says, as expected. Very predictable, darn, don't you think? And Kagami was sent towards the wall, but he got on the wall and just jumped towards the man. And Pain, Kagami doesn't know that it's Pain, but Pain doesn't expect this, so he is caught off guard a bit. But because of the side vision, he evades because the left man was watching. And Kagami is like, oh god, do I really have to fight you guys? And Pain says, well, after you've displayed this much skill, of course you do. And Kagami is like, sure, fine, whatever, you'll just die. And Kagami rushes at the middle Pain. The main Pain with the push and pull abilities. And he whips out his sword and starts trying to slice Pain. And at one point, Pain does almighty push on Kagami, sending him back a bit. And when Kagami's in the air, he does a few flips, and he activates his Mangekyo and says, Amaterasu! Amaterasu! How do you say it? Amaterasu? Yeah, Amaterasu. And Pain again didn't expect this, saying, this is an Uchiha? What? God, can't really dodge this, but I'll just try to push the flames away. And he did manage to do that, but he didn't see Kagami disappear and appear behind him, trying to stab him, but because of the linked vision, he disappeared. He managed to evade. And Pain said, well, you random Uchiha who I don't know, you are very strong and do not seem to have any allegiance to a village. How about you come join the Akatsuki? And Kagami says, no, I won't join the Akatsuki. Sorry, don't really need to. And Pain says, very well. You can go. We let you go. But don't expect mercy next time we see you. And Kagami is like, okay, sure, whatever, bye. And he just disappears in the wind, in the leaves. Kagami appears at a location. And there he sees another man with black hair and a lollipop mask. And Kagami says, yo, Obito, what are you doing? And Obito says, I'm doing very well, Kagami. Long time no see. I've heard you had a bit of a run-in with some Konoha shinobi. How did it go? Kagami grinned and said, oh, I basically make them shit their pants. But why did you call me here? And Obito said, well, I sensed your chakra near the rain village, and also the leader of the Akatsuki with you. Did he ask you something? Kagami said, yeah, he offered me to join his organization, but I was sticking to the plan. And Obito said, very well. Now, I shall join the Akatsuki, and will act like your mortal enemy. Your job will be to fake hunt me down and try to get revenge. And I have a feeling that soon the 5 great nations might need to unite against this threat. Yes. Yes, okay. Anyways, Kagami, see ya. And Obito just calmly away. And yeah. Kagami just says, okay, and he just leaves, basically. Yeah. Now, after Kagami leaves, he heads to a regular shop in this nearby village, and he's thinking about getting himself a new outfit because, well, before Obito left, he warned him that the leader of the Akatsuki might be heading towards Konoha to get the 9 tails Jinchuriki. But because Pain doesn't know that it's Kagami, it'll just be a waste. But still, the leaf is probably gonna get obliterated. So you can do whatever you want. And Kagami is like, I think I'll help them out a bit. Why not? I'm bored. So Kagami heads into the shop, gets himself basically the picture you see post Gara arc. That's gonna be his new outfit, along with the mask and the long hair. Everything, chain, everything. You get it. And Kagami just rents a hotel and goes to sleep. Now, we go to Kagami trying to fall asleep, but he can't for some reason. And he's wondering why. And he just can't fall asleep. Whenever he closes his eyes, a weird person appears in his mind. It's that girl he saw when he was rescuing Gaara, when he was killing some Akatsuki members. And for some reason, he can't stop thinking about her. It's just her face pops up in his head. It's very weird to him. But he brushes it off and just manages to fall asleep. Now, we go back to Sasuke. We go to Sasuke in the leaf, trying to fall asleep. But she can't. She can't stop thinking about about that boy with the Sharingan. For some reason, he just keeps popping up in her head. It's very weird to her. And yeah. So next morning, Kagami wakes up and he's like, yep, the attack should happen about now. I guess I should head there, but I don't want to get into a lot of mess, so I think I'll just distract him using a little strategy I have. Yeah, that'll be good. So, Kagami heads towards the Leaf Village, and we see Pain doing the Shinra, the planetary, doing the giant crater in the Leaf Village, and we see Sakura screaming out for Menma-kun! Yeah, Menma replaces Naruto, basically. And then, as canon, appear two toads, Gamabunta and the pink one. The pink one, you remember, the pink toad, giant toad. Yeah. On top of the pink one is Naruto, and on top of Gamabunta is Menma. And the whole fight goes as canon, but because they don't have the Nine Tails, they can't really do much. So they get obliterated, basically. Yeah. They're on the ground. Menma is out cold. Naruto's also pretty much also out cold. They're not dead, but half dead. And Pain asks again to Minato, who's also pretty banged up. He's like, Minato, fourth Hokage, where is the Nine Tails Jinchuriki? Give him to me and I shall leave your village alone. And Minato, because he can't expose his secret that they don't have a Jinchuriki, he's like, never! I'll never give you the Jinchuriki. And then Pain is about to launch a giant rod, the chakra rod, towards the fourth Hokage, basically trying to kill him. But then they just hear clapping, like, in the distance, and they both look, and they see a man in a black outfit with bandages everywhere, with bandages on his legs, with long black spiky hair, and a weird orange mask. And this man is sitting with, like, one leg hanging. He's sitting on top of a pillar that's half broken. And he's just sitting there all looking like sluggish, holding up his head. And he's like, oh god, really? So the leaf is that easy to destroy? Damn. I never thought it would be so easy. I think I could have done a better job though, Pain. And Pain is like, who are you? Show yourself. Show your face. Kagami inside the mask is like, nope, I will not do it. But how about you leave the village alone and yeah, you can do that. And Pain is like, I'll do that if this village submits their Jinchuriki. And Kagami is like, oh, well, I don't know where he is, but you could leave the village because something bad's about to happen to you, you know? And Pain is looking at Kagami like weird, like, what the fuck are you saying, bitch? I just destroyed this whole village. And Minato is like looking at Kagami like he's stupid, like, what are you doing? This guy has a Rinnegan. And Sasuke, who's literally amongst the pillars, she's banged up, like, she tried to fight one of the bodies of Pain. She managed to deal some damage, but yeah, she got pretty beat up. And so yeah. Kagami, she looks at the masked man, and she's like, who is he? He feels familiar. He seems familiar. Huh. Well, it might be him, it might be not, I don't know. But he has one hole in his mask. I think guy I met only showed one eye, so it could be a coincidence, but I don't know. And Kagami is like, well, 3, 2, 1, and he snaps his fingers, and the bodies of Pain fall over. Now, let's cut back to a few minutes before. We see Pain we see Nagato, the original body, and Konan sitting in their tree, Nagato destroying the leaf basically with his other bodies. And then Konan drops to the floor, not dead but unconscious. And Nagato is like, shit, who the heck is now? God damn it. I didn't think about leaving anybody here because Konan was strong enough. Damn it, who is he? And Kagami, with his masked outfit, walks in and says, hello, Nagato. Long time no see. Let's talk. Nagato says, who are you? What are you doing here? What do you want? Are you gonna try to kill me? Kagami says, no, after this you're gonna want to commit suicide, believe me. But enough about that. Look, I know you're trying to create peace, like, the world shall know pain, but look, there's much better ways to achieve peace. I have a plan, and this plan, it will unite all the 5 great nations. Me, along with my partner, along with a friend, we'll create true peace, so you can rest easy. But for now, how about you use those Renegon of yours and revive everyone, you know? And Nagato says, why the heck should I do that? I already killed him. And if I revive them, I'll die myself. And Kagami says, well, if you didn't know, you're gonna die today anyways because of your sickness. Your body is too frail and weak to handle any more stress. So it's better you revive some people and create a bit more peace, you know, right before you die. And Nagato thinks about it. Yeah, he's convinced. He's like, whoever you are, I trust you. But please tell me your name before I do this. I'm Kagami Uchiha. Remember it. Oh, also, after you die, I will take your Renegon. I'll implant one in myself, and the other one I'll give to my friend. This will help us in our plan. Nagato thinks about it again and says, fine, I trust you. Just take Konan somewhere safe. And tell her that I died. Kagami says, sure, I'll do that. And so, Nagato in real life, his bodies fall over, and the King of Hell dude is the only one left standing. And he summons the King of Hell doing the Rene rebirth whole thingy. And then he drops dead too. And Nagato also dies the same way. And they're like, what? What did the masked man do that? Who? What? And the clone is like, well, I'm just a clone, not the original. The original did the job, so bye. And so he just disappears. And everybody's like, what? God damn it. We don't even know his name. Was that a Sharingan glowing in his mask? Huh. He might be from the Uchiha clan, but nobody's that powerful here. And so Kagami takes one Renegon, implants it himself using a quick real healing jutsu he learned, which basically now gave him the Renegon, but he can't open it yet, so he's waiting on it. That's why his mask is good for this, because he don't see nothing with the other eye. And he takes the other Renegon, puts it in a bottle, seals it in a scroll, takes Konan, gets her to a little cottage. It's outside of somewhere. He convoys there. Where should we send Konan? It's not important, but yeah, he sends her to not the Hidden Rain, because there's the Akatsuki there, so they can't really know. Yeah. And yeah, he just puts her into the hidden hot water village, into a cottage there, just lets her rest, saying a note that Nagato has died, but he wished all the best for you. I took his Renegons. This will help save the world for real. Don't join the Akatsuki or I'll come and kill you, basically. Like that. And so, Kagami calls up Obito using a way. I don't know how he would do it. He just did it. Plot armor. And Kagami said, well, the fake leader of the Akatsuki's dead, so here's one ray gun for you. I already implanted the other one in myself. This will help us a lot. You know that, right? And, yeah. Yep, that happened. So, Obito took the eye, he implanted it himself, and they rest up a bit. Toby, as he's named in the Akatsuki, just said that he's gonna take a little break. He needs to do something real quick. Of course, they trusted him. Now, here, the fake leader is someone else, not Toby, not Nagato. The real leader is not Toby, not Nagato, it's someone else, don't worry. He's still an OP character, but not that OP. And, yeah. So, at the Leaf Village, nobody knows what the hell happened. Yeah. They didn't find any bodies. All the bodies of pain were taken. They had normalized after all. It was just Renegon thingy. So they didn't get anything out of it. And everybody still remembers the masked man. And they don't know who he is. But Sasuke thinks she knows that it's the masked. It's the Uchiha boy she saw. It's the Uchiha man she saw. And so she's like, if that's him, he's really cool. Damn, I wish I could get him in a bed. What the heck am I thinking? And then she's like, oh my god. Yeah, you get it. Kagami doesn't give a shit. He's like, oh yeah. Meanwhile, Kagami is just hanging out in the hidden hot water village. Just in the hot springs. Everybody's looking at him. Because, yeah. He has his mask off. All the women are looking at him. My guy is... yeah, he's hot by those standards, right? And, now... and so, Kagami is walking around the 5 great nations, just chilling out, you know, doing his own thing. And, he comes across while he was walking around the border of the hidden stone and around the border of the land of earth and the land of fire, he met Itachi. Now, when he met Itachi, he just stood there in front of him, and Itachi wasn't looking too good. There was blood dripping out of his mouth and nose and eyes. He was coughing up blood. And Itachi's like, Kagami, is that you? Please tell me it's you. You're the one I was looking for. Kagami says, huh, Itachi, what's wrong with you? Now, you might say, why are Itachi and Kagami friends? Now, we go back to the Gaara arc, the Gaara rescue thingy, and after that, Kagami was walking to the place to meet Obito, he met Itachi, and Itachi asked to stopped him and said that because he killed the Akatsuki, he thinks that he can trust them, and he told him about his whole spy thingy. And Kagami, of course, didn't like betrayal, but he understood it. And, yeah, they talked and they became kind of good friends in like 5 minutes. And Kagami did explain how he was treated by the village, because Itachi was talking about how the village is more important than the clan. And Itachi tells him that, yeah, I would have never chosen the village over the clan. And Itachi's like, what do you mean? Kagami then activates his Mangekyo, and Itachi's like, huh, okay, so you're an Uchiha. I see. You're the 9 Tails in Cherokee. Well, I hope you found a better life outside the leaf. And so, they talked a bit more, and then Kagami left. And so now Kagami sees Itachi almost dying, and Itachi says, Kagami, I'm terminally ill. There is no one that can fix me. Not even Tsunade, the best healer in the world. It's just impossible. This sickness destroys my cells from the inside. So, I ask you two last things. First, after my death, please take care of my little sister Sasuke. She's about your age, so I think you'll do well together, eh? And Kagami, when he hears this, he remembers an Uchiha girl looking at him, and the one that he couldn't stop thinking about, so he's like, okay, sure. And what's the second one? Itachi says, please kill me right now. This sickness is very painful. I'd rather die by your hand. And Kagami is like, okay, well, thank you for everything you've done, Itachi Uchiha. You lived a great life. May you rest in peace. And he killed him with a slice to the head. He just sliced his head off. Basically painless and quick. Yep. And yep. And I'll just say that a villager was passing by, and he knows these two because he's a fan of ninjas, and he doesn't have any chakra, so nobody could sense him. Yeah, that's the way it went. And so, yep. So then the rumor spread so quickly, like in 2 days, the 5 great nations already knew that Itachi Uchiha was killed by the ghost. And when Sasuke learned this, she went into the bingo book and looked for the ghost, and she saw that that's the guy in the mask. That's the masked man. And she immediately started resenting him. She hated him because, yeah, she still loved her brother, you know. And so we cut back to Kagami. He's just walking around, and he actually runs into Cloud and Stone Anbu. And they're like, are you the ghost? And Kagami's like, who's asking? And they're like, we're under orders from the Tsuchikage and the Raikage to eliminate you as a possible threat to the villages. Kagami laughs at this maniacally and says, try me. And he pulls out his katana and basically gets ready. The Anbu rush towards him, thinking that he's a fool for going against 50 Anbu. But Kagami doesn't care. He placed half of them in a widespread genjutsu. Then the other ones, he sent a majestic destroyer flame, and the ones that were left, he just rushed towards them and swiftly chopped all their heads off. You can imagine that. The Anbu didn't even have time to react, man. They're just dead, basically. And after this, Kagami is like, so the Tsuchikage and the Raikage finally started making their move. How very interesting. Well, no matter. I'll just kill them anyways. So it's fine. And then he continues walking, and then he runs into some sand Anbu, and they try making the same thing, but he just kills them all. He meets some Mist Anbu, he kills them all. He meets some Leaf Anbu, who are also after him, because, you know, he killed Itachi Uchiha, he might be a possible threat to the village. Because Minato knew about Itachi's secret mission to infiltrate the Akatsuki. And so, he killed them all mercilessly too. Yeah, basically. And a lot of Anbu were spent trying to kill this one man. And Sasuke swore that the next time she sees him, she's gonna kill him for Itachi's sake. And Kagami already knows that the rumor has spread, so he knows that Sasuke will start hating him. But he can't really do anything about it. He didn't want the rumors to spread, but, you know, What's done is done. And so, the same thing with the Akatsuki, just different people. They captured, like, the part of the Eight Tails, but people think that B's, like, captured and stuff. And so the Raikage calls for a 5 Kage summit. Now, everybody goes as canon, but this time as the Hokage's guards. The people that go are Kakashi Hatake, and Sasuke Uchiha. Now, Sasuke is now an Anbu captain. Yeah, basically an Anbu captain. / Jonin. She's powerful. She has a Mangekyo when she learned that Itachi was dead. She got the Mangekyo after she learned about Itachi's death. And so, everybody arrived. And the Raikage is like, well, my dear 5 Kages, I called you here today to discuss 2 certain groups and individuals. The first is a group, the Akatsuki. They have taken all of the tailed beasts, along with my brother B, and the fate of the 9-tailed Jinchuriki is unknown. And second, the Ghost. No matter how many Anbu we've sent, even combined, he just massacres them all mercilessly. We need to do something about him. We need to send either a bunch of elite Jonin or ourselves to kill him. He might be a threat. And the Mizukage is like, even though I worked with him in the past, and I'm sure many of you have, I think everybody has worked for him except the Leaf. He was pretty good at his missions, so... And he didn't show any hostility towards our villages, so I don't get why we're trying to kill him, but, I mean... One less of a threat, that's good. And the Raikage is like, Hokage, do you know why the Ghost never accepted missions from you? Did you even try to contact him? And the Hokage, who's Minato, was like, yes, multiple times, but he always rejected them, saying that the Leaf doesn't deserve his help. And the Kazekage is like, maybe you did something to him in the past? I don't know. Everybody who's escaped alive, and there aren't that many, say that they always saw a Sharingan before the man disappeared in a weird whirlpool. And now that he's gotten this new outfit, as people say, with the mask, people are saying that he's gotten much more bloody, like, much more violent. So, yeah. But what should we take? What should we do? And Sasuke walks up to the Hokage and whispers something in his ear. And the Hokage says, well, dear 5 Kages, about the Ghost, we might have an idea. One of Konoha's strongest shinobi has stood up to take on a fight with him when we find him. This shinobi's name is Sasuke Uchiha. She is the Lady Itachi Uchiha's sister. And Tsuchikage's like, well, that might work. I mean, if she's strong. And the Mizukage is like, that will never work. I could barely keep up with him. And that was a few years ago. He put all of my Anbu and Ao and Chojuro into the walls, and he almost put a sword to my neck, but he just came for a mission. So something needs to be done. But I believe that the more important threat is the Akatsuki. How about we form an alliance to destroy them? And then we'll just go our separate ways and continue like we always were. What? What do you mean? Said the Tsuchikage. The Hokage said, well, how about we do a little vote? Anybody who's against it, raise their hands. Tsuchikage and the Kazekage and the Raikage rose their hands. Well, I see that there's only 2 of us who are for it, but okay. And then something happens. A giant whirlpool, and a man with a lollipop mask, and black robes with red clouds on them appears, and Toby gives his usual speech. I know, but yeah. Basically, Zetsu thinks that he managed to put a Genjutsu on Toby, manipulated him, but that's not true. Toby's just playing along. And then another whirlpool appears, and another man with a mask, pretty similar to the other man's, just different. Longer hair, different outfit. He also appears and says, "Toby, I'll kill you," with like a deadly demon voice. And he pulls out his katana, and Toby is like, "Oh, it's the ghost! Well, well, well. Interesting." Ha. Well, before you attack me, 5 great nations, 5 Kages, I want you to give us the 9 Tails Jinchuriki, and we'll go in peace. Kagami doesn't give a shit, so he just blitzed towards Toby, and Toby whipped out a kunai and threw it at the ghost. The ghost just phased through, and he slashed his katana at Toby, but Toby phased through again, and they just started exchanging hits, phasing through each other, until they jumped back, and they're like, "We'll have to settle this another time." And Toby said, "See ya, ghost." And Kagami, aka the ghost, is like, "Toby, I'll kill you one day." Toby replies, "When that happens, I'll be already dead. You'll be already dead, and everybody else you know. So bye." And he just leaves. And Kagami just starts walking out until he hears lightning crackle, and when he turns around, all he sees is a flash, a blue flash. And Kagami activates his Sharingan just in time, and he sees the Raikage running at him in slow motion, and he just goes aside. And the Raikage went through the wall. He then sees Tsuchigage fly up and say, "Particle style, molecular dismantling," or I don't know how that was called, but molecular dismantling, the cube thingy. And basically, Kagami was caught in it, but when Tsuchikage activated the technique, basically trying to crumble him into many pieces, into particles, Kagami just phased through the attack. And so he's like, 5 great Kage. You people are weird, man. All I came was killing your enemy, and you try to attack me? Then Sasuke just came out of nowhere and tried to stab him from behind, but she just phased as well, and he's like, okay. I guess there's not really much point in talking to any of you. So, yeah, I'll leave. You don't know if I'm your enemy or your ally, but all I can say is try to prepare for a war. And this war will require all of the nations. Not one nation can win the Akatsuki altogether. They are a world threat. And after that, I don't know, just do it. And he just convoys away. And now, all of the Kages vote for an alliance for the Great Shinobi World War. And then, I forgot to mention, but before Toby left, he announced that the 4th Shinobi World War will be held on that date, there and there. You get it, as canon. That's all I forgot to mention. And the whole thing with Kagami also happened, so yeah. So now the 5 great nations are gathered, and they're a bit hopeless because they don't have the 9 Tails with them, and they don't know where he is. And so we're at the point where Toby is about to, where basically the second Tsuchikage is about to summon Madara, thinking that Madara will just massacre everyone and be on their side, because, you know, Zetsu doesn't know that his Genjutsu was dispelled. So yeah. Basically, yeah. And Madara summons, and he's like, "Who dares summon me?" And the second Tsuchikage is like, "Oh, Lord Madara. Well, he got orders are to destroy all of the shinobi." And Madara breaks out of the thing, out of the control, and says, "I'll even do it without the control, all for the rise of the moon." And Kabuto hears this and he's like, "Okay, yes, perfect. He's still gonna kill him." But what now nobody knows, not even the shinobi, is that Madara cast a giant genjutsu. He basically, using his Renegon, he just casted an amazing illusion, making it seem like he's massacring everybody as in canon, but in reality, all the shinobi are just passed out. And all the Kage present there are looking at this terrified. Same thing as canon, basically. So Madara made it realistic, and then he just disappears with the illusion still on, making it look like a bloody bath. And he appeared right next to Obito, and he said, "Oh, Obito, I see. There's a plan in motion." And Zetsu sees this and he's a bit suspicious, like, how do they know each other and why is he calling him Obito? Weird. I should stay on guard. And Madara says, "Zetsu, do we have the Nine Tails?" Zetsu says, "No, we don't. We don't even know where he is. But we have Ginkaku and Kinkaku, so they'll be enough." And yeah. And basically the thing with the ceiling and the pre-Ten Tails whole thing appears, the giant tree thingy, and Madara is fighting the 5 Kage and Tobi. I'm gonna change the events because I don't remember how the war went exactly, but I'll just say that Tobi and Madara are fighting against the army and the 5 Kage and all of like the shinobi. Actually, no, the shinobi are fighting regular Zetsu, and they're actually dying because Madara and Otobi can't control that. Madara is fighting against the 5 Kage. At the same time, close to them, Obito is fighting with Sasuke, Kakashi, all of the Konoha, 12 or 13, I don't remember how many of them. All of like our canon characters, along with Menma and Sasuke, Menma and Mito. Yeah, Menma and Naruto, sorry. They're all fighting. And at this point, everything seems hopeless. Madara has almost killed the 5 Kage. Obito is dealt almost with everyone, except for Sasuke, she's still holding on. And then a giant poof appears on a pillar in the desert. And there is sitting a man in a mask with his outfit, the black robes, and long spiky hair, and just sitting and holding his head up like Madara did. And he's like, doing a little facepalm, saying, "Is this really what is going on? Come on, Madara Sensei and Obito Sensei, you can stop faking it now. We both know that it's enough. The Ten Tails is gonna get revived, but we can stop it together. I think we can. Well, we'll try to." And so, everybody hears when the masked man called the two of their enemies Sensei. They thought that, well, he's gonna kill us all. But then they heard that he's gonna stop the Ten Tails, and they're like, okay, they might be on our side, but why is Madara and the man named Obito on our side as well? Kakashi hears the name Obito and he's like, what? But how? And at this point, Sasuke managed to find Orochimaru just because it was her mission, and she found Orochimaru came with the Kage summoned, and Hashirama heard Madara say that they're gonna stop the Ten Tails, and he started like shedding a little happy tear, saying that he wasn't evil all along. And Madara looks at Hashirama and it's like, Hashirama! And Hashirama is like on guard, like what is he gonna do? Like, we're gonna have a friendly duel after this. Hashirama is like, phew, fine, okay, sure. But then Zetsu sees that he got betrayed, and he, unbeknownst to anybody, goes behind everyone's back and takes over Menma's body. Using Menma's body, he revived the Ten Tails, doing some hand signs in the whole wee summoning thingy. And now, basically, the Ten Tails is rampaging. Kagami, Madara, Hashirama, and Tobirama all went by 4 sides of the Ten Tails, and they placed the and they created the barrier of the 4 lights. I don't remember the red barrier thingy, the strong one, and the Ten Tails was stuck again, and yeah, whole thing as in canon. The Ten Tails managed to break out, but at this point, Zetsu using Menma's body, which was pretty strong, because, okay, Menma is the son of the Hokage, so he's strong. So, and now he's even stronger with Zetsu's control. And, yeah. Basically, he starts sucking in the Ten Tails, and he is now the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails. Menma is the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails. How his Jinchuriki form, the Ten Tails Jinchuriki form looks like, is that basically, imagine Obito. Imagine Obito's Jinchuriki form, but with longer hair, and Zetsu's half is black, basically. It's a half and half. And then in the eyes of Menma appeared the Renegan, and everybody's like, oh shit. So Obito and Kagami got in front of the whole shinobi army, and Kagami said, okay, I know everybody here doesn't really like me, but gonna have to deal with it. Now, big bro Obito, let's do this. And so they both took off their masks, and everybody saw one Renegon in each person's eye. And Sasuke immediately recognized that Uchiha, and she is fuming with hatred because of her brother's death, but she says that first the war, then comes my revenge. And Kagami can feel this because of the 9 tails, and he's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to fight her and prove to her that it's not my fault. But that comes in later. So now, Kagami and Obito are fighting the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. I'm gonna call him Menmazetsu. Yeah, they're fighting Menmazetsu. And this Jinchuriki is extremely powerful. He has 8 truth-seeking orbs. He has just incredible power with his Renegon, using all of the abilities like they were always his because of Zetsu. And basically, Obito and Kagami don't really stand a chance, and so basically, at one point, Menmazetsu charges a giant attack and sends it towards Kagami, Obito, and the rest of the shinobi army, and the rest of like the Konoha 12 who were close by, and everybody managed to get away except for Kagami, Obito, and Sasuke. Now, the attack hit them, and everybody thought they were dead, and it was actually true. But let's cut into Kagami's mindscape. He wakes up and sees in front of him an old man floating, and he's like, who are you? I am the sage of the 6 paths, Hagoromo Otsutsuki, and you are the reincarnation of my first son, Indra. No, and you are the reincarnation of my second son, Ashura. along with your friend Obito. It's a double reincarnation of the same person, never seen before. And Sasuke, that girl, she's the reincarnation of my first son, Indra, although she is much weaker. But that doesn't matter. I shall give you power so that you can stop Menmazetsu and Kaguya, who I feel is approaching, who I feel is about to break the seal I placed on her. And basically, Kagami got the Tomoe in his Rinnegan, and it's now his own. Basically, now he has the ability of Limbo, creating his own clones, and the Limbo contract go together. Yeah. And he also has a new ability, not a new ability, I just call it Kyokan. Kyokan basically means switch. It's the ability Sasuke used against Momoshiki, like switching places with him and the kunais. Very strong ability. Yeah. And he just basically also got the Sage's Six Paths Sage mode, as Naruto did in canon. But now it's like... black and white. I'll say it's much more powerful, because Kagami's stronger, and he's an Uchiha and stuff like that. And in the mind of Obito, he gained the Tomoe and his Rinnegan, and also getting buffed by a lot. And Sasuke, who was Indra's reincarnation, she got also the Rinnegan with the Tomoe, and also a giant buff, basically. Yeah. But she's much stronger than Sasuke, I'll just say, because... yeah, she's just much stronger than Sasuke in canon. She also got like a giant buff, much bigger than Obito's. Same buff as Naruto, as Kagami. So everybody thought they were dead, until the three of them stood up, went beside each other, bumped fists, and sent a giant attack towards Menmazetsu. Started fighting him. Kagami stayed back, did the summoning jutsu, and he summoned 9 people. Everybody thought, what is he doing? And Kagami says, okay, Limbo 9, I summoned you here because the fourth Shinobi World War is going on. Even though we can deal with this Menmazetsu, you're gonna have to help the regular Shinobi. Please split and help fight the White Zetsu army. All of the Shinobi need you. And then you can just desummon whenever you feel like it. If you feel like your life's in danger, just desummon. Nobody cares. And so they left. And so Kagami rushed in battle along with them. Now Menmazetsu is getting obliterated. And at one point, Menmazetsu gets sent back, but he stops midair. It starts floating. The real Menma inside, starts screaming out loud. And Zetsu is showing a happy face. And everybody's wondering what's going on, when a woman with long white hair, long white robes with yellow and red and Tomoe on them, a Byakugan in her eyes, and a Rene Sharingan. No, yeah, a Byakugan in her eyes and some horns. And so she said, "Ah, my dear Zetsu, thank you for bringing me back. Did you actually have to take this pathetic little human to become the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails? But no matter. The infinite Tsukuyomi shall commence." And so she sucked the Ten Tails out of Menma, basically killing him. And she has now unlocked the Rene Sharingan, and she placed the whole world under a Genjutsu, except for except for Kagami, Sasuke, and except for Kagami and Sasuke. And only they are left standing because Kagami blocked all of them with a Susanoo, but Obito passed out because he's basically drained. He's still a much weaker reincarnation of Ashura. He just got a bit of his chakra, but most of Ashura is inside of Kagami, and Indra is inside of Sasuke. But because Kagami is so strong, it looks like Kagami has Indra and Sasuke has Ashura, but it's actually the opposite. And so she's like, oh, so you are the humanity's last hope. And basically, the thing that happens is the fight goes as canon. Basically, I don't really remember how it went, but the whole dimension thingies happened. Everything went as canon. Without Kakashi and Sakura, because she's irrelevant. But Obito was there. And Obito survived, so he's fine. So now Kaguya is getting sealed again by the sun and moon thingy. She's like, I shall return, you pesky humans. You shall know pain. No. No, I'm kidding. And so Kaguya gets sealed again. And everybody's happy, happy go. And Hagoromo appears, and all the tailed beasts appear, and everybody's congratulating each other on a victory, congratulating Sasuke, congratulating Kagami, congratulating Obito, congratulating Madara. They're still scared of him, but whatever. And now, Minato and the other Kage come up to Kagami and Madara and Obito and Sasuke, and they bow down saying thank you, but Minato says, please, could you explain to us why you were helping us? Because you killed so many shinobi. And Madara says, no, we didn't kill any of your shinobi. I placed the Genjutsu on everyone. In reality, when my brother died, my brother's death, everything that happened to me was Zetsu's plan. And I got manipulated, and in the end I got a Genjutsu placed on myself. This Genjutsu made me want to destroy the leaf, and want to kill Hashirama, and basically create the eyes of the moon. But when I found Obito half dead, and tried to show him the death of it, and showed him the death of his girlfriend, I thought he would come to join the dark side of the Force. No, I'm kidding. And but in reality, he unlocked his Mangekyo, and using his ability to dispel any Genjutsu, he freed me from that illusion. And then we found Kagami. Obito found Kagami getting beaten up and abused by the leaf. And everybody's like, so, what, you were from the leaf? Kagami looks at Minato and says, oh yeah, I'm from the leaf, you dumb father. And everybody's dumbstruck, even Minato. He's like, what is your name? I am Kagami Uchiha, the Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed demon fox. But it's better to call him Kurama. So Minato's like, so you're alive. Thank God, son. And Kagami stops him right there, saying, I'm not your son. You threw me out like a broken toy. And Minato calms him down and saying, I didn't want to do that. The elders and the clans voted for you to go into an orphanage. I sent Anbu to see for you every day, but they didn't do their job. I couldn't do anything about it. All the time you were at the orphanage, I tried getting you back, but the elders just wouldn't listen. Please, you can be angry at me, but please don't be angry at Kushina and Naruto, and unfortunately Menma, who has now passed away. Yeah. And so Kagami's like, I'll think about it, but I'm not coming back to your little family, even though it's already half empty, but whatever. And so, yeah, basically they keep talking until the sage of six paths appears, and he says, "Very well, I congratulate you on saving this world." But then, Sage of Six Paths gets interrupted by Sasuke. "Kagami Uchiha, come with me to the Valley of the End. There we shall settle this once and for all." Kagami does the facepalm and says, "It's inevitable, but don't worry, everyone, I'm gonna be fine." Everybody's wondering why Sasuke's doing this. He just literally just saved the world. But then they remember that this man just literally killed her brother. And they're like, okay, well, okay. And so we arrive at the Valley of the End. Kagami is standing on Hashirama's face, and Sasuke is standing on Madara's face. No relation to real life, but whatever. And she's like, "I'll get my revenge for Itachi!" And she rushes towards Kagami as canon. And Kagami is like, "I'm gonna have to convince her somehow. For some reason, it's so painful seeing her like this. I don't know what this is, but okay. I have to get her into a Kenjutsu, and there I can show her everything." And so they begin fighting. Sasuke summons her perfect Susanoo, and Kagami summons Kurama Avatar along with his Susanoo also. And they start fighting. Sasuke flies up using her wings and starts shooting the arrows. Kagami's deflecting everything. And so the whole battle goes as canon. But at one point, when they were about to start charging their signature techniques, Kagami was about to just use a lightning technique that was the strongest in his arsenal. I really can't come up with a name. Yeah, he just using the Rinnegan ability, he just creates like a Rasengan thingy. And Sasuke summons her Chidori, and they rush towards each other. But then Kagami looks into her eyes, and she accidentally looks into his. And he shows her in the thing how exactly it went on. And Sasuke still can't believe this, but Kagami let go of the Kenjutsu, and they're still flying towards each other, but Sasuke's already deactivated her technique, same as Kagami. So Sasuke is going for the punch, but Kagami, for some reason, he hugs Sasuke, and he just pulls her towards himself, and just hugs her tight, saying, "I'm sorry. I couldn't have done anything else. I couldn't let Itachi suffer. I hope you'll forgive me." And then she's like, "I want to kill you, but I know that Itachi wanted the best." But then the hormones took in, and they looked at each other and started kissing. Yeah, making out basically. And what a coincidence! Under Madara's stone face, there was Madara's old base, and in that base, all that was there was Madara's office. And, you guessed it, a bed. And there, they spent the next 6 hours doing their whole thingy, because hormones took over. Plot armor. And everybody's wondering what the heck happened to her and him. And some people swore that they could hear. Yeah, some people could swear that they heard some moans from the direction of the Valley of the End. And one of those people was Obito, Madara, and Minato. And they're all grinning like, what? What the heck? Man, they were mortal enemies a second ago. And so, after their little cardio session in the cave, you know how it is, Kagami is like, Sasuke, I know we've never gone out or actually ever talked, but how about we go out sometime? And Sasuke says yes and starts kissing him again, and they have another 2-hour cardio session. And 5 hours later, everybody's already packed up, everybody's gathering the dead, doing their prayers and stuff. Some people can still hear the moans, but most people close their ears because they don't want to hear it. And yeah, and then they see two people come over the horizon. Kagami and Sasuke. Well, Sasuke is passed out from all the cardio she did, you know. From all the cardio. And we can see that Kagami is like a bit tired, having a little sweat drop on his face. And everybody's like looking at them with like the Minato face, like the eyes. Like the what the fuck are you doing? And they're like, and Kagami just puts his hands in like, I don't know. And so, the war ended. 5 great nations are at peace. Basically, Obito has come back to the leaf. Madara was sealed away because he wanted to rest, because he wanted to be at peace. And basically, we cut to Kagami and Sasuke after their grand date at a very expensive restaurant. And they go out the restaurant and Kagami says, "Hey, Sasuke, can I tell you something?" Sasuke looks at him and sees how beautiful his face is. Yeah. And he's like, "What's up, Kagami?" And Kagami basically confesses his feelings, his true feelings towards Sasuke. And Sasuke says that she feels the same way. And so she basically jumps on him, kisses him. And basically what happens is that Kagami uses his special teleportation no jutsu technique. That's a jutsu, but teleportation to bed no jutsu technique. And they have another 6-hour cardio session until like 5 p.m. until like 5 a.m. And the next morning they wake up, I'll just say that for the next day they just have cardio session over cardio session. And during their last cardio session of the day, Kagami asks, he's like, "Hey, Sasuke, do you want to start a family?" And Sasuke didn't expect so fast, but she doesn't care how fast it is. She loves the man, and so she says sure. And so, yeah. 9 months later, we skip to Kagami, Sasuke, and a boy with black spiky hair in their arms. And this boy's name is Madara Uchiha. Yeah, they named him after Madara. And we skip to 2 years later. Madara has grown up, and they have another son, actually daughter, and they name her Itachi Uchiha. And so, I'm not gonna go into Boruto, but this time Madara next generation. It's Kagami. It's Kagami. It's Madara Kagami next generation. Basically, I'm not gonna go into that, but you can imagine all the events of Boruto go like in canon, but just with different characters. And everybody lives a happy ever after. I don't know what happens in Boruto, but yeah. So that's basically it. Now, this was my first time recording a movie. I don't know how it sounds because I'm not gonna listen over the recording. It takes too much time. But if you hear like a random no man somewhere in the middle of a sentence, that's just because I thought that the recording stopped. And if you hear like random repeatances of my words, that's because recording also stopped for some reason and I had to record it again. I'm recording all of this on the iPhone 5S, so the quality of the voice memo program isn't really good. So this was actually the only what if I didn't write a normal script for it, so that it was a bit difficult, but I forgot to write a script, and I didn't want to do it. But still, no excuses. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more movies like this in the future, of course they'll be better quality because I'm still learning how to do everything. But if you want more movies in the future, write it in the comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about the story. I tried to work hard on the story. And overall, also, join the Discord server. It's fun. We have a lot of fun. New ideas. You guys can give me new ideas. I suggest my ideas. There's a lot of dumb shit happening there all the time. So, yep. Hope you enjoy. Bye.